bank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was scarred with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcast it like hey ya.
All right, there we go. Party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one Chief Rock and Knicks University main man, Uncle Freezy. Salute. What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good? Salute to everybody watching us on X and everyone watching us on YouTube. Kind of in the middle of doing a couple of things here. All right, I see y'all. Salute everybody. So, what I want to do is, if I can grab this microphone. So, what I want to do is talk to everybody about stock watch for the Knicks roster under Mike Brown. Who is going to be a better player under Mike Brown, and who may see their roles diminished? So I want to ask you guys how you guys feel about that. Bodega Wi-Fi in the building. Salute. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is in the building. Salute, y'all. So I'm going to ask y'all how y'all feel about that. Who do you think will be better? Who is going to be worse? Who is going to be impactful, more impactful? Who's going to be less impactful under Mike Brown? Let me get this camera here right. Let me see. There we are. Okay. All right. All right. So who's going to be more impactful? Who's going to be less impactful? I want to ask you guys. So I want to ask y'all the difficult question. I want to ask y'all a question like, is Jalen Brunson going to be as impactful in a new offensive and defensive system? Is there a sneaky player on the roster that might break out in a humongous way? Do the Knicks have a player on their roster that might thrive under this new regime? Unexpectedly, of course. Because if that player had the potential already, he probably would have already broken out. Are you going to see one of the Knicks take a lesser role? Right? Is a guy that we love going to maybe be phased out because he doesn't fit the new coaching staff? I think it's a difficult question to ask. At the same time, in fairness, it's summertime. We basically are waiting on training camp to get here, and maybe it's just something fair to talk about. Michelle, what's good? Make sure my mic, make sure I got the correct microphone on to y'all. Audio, check, check, check. Check, check, check. There we are. There we are. Give an example. I'm just going to give an example of why this is important, or why this may be important for us to talk about. Will Mike Brown value OG Anunoby the way that Tom Thibodeau valued OG Anunoby, seeing that OG Anunoby may not be the best three-point shooter? Can y'all see that happening? Can you see a guy like OG Anunoby maybe take a step back in a Mike Brown offense? Can you envision that? Can you see Jalen Brunson play less on the ball offensively under Mike Brown? And what will that look like in your eyes? Will, say, a guy that's off the radar, for instance, will one of our second-year players take that sophomore leap? Or will they all take that sophomore slump? It's something to consider. The player that I want to talk about that may look different in a Mike Brown system is Mitchell Robinson. What's Mitch going to look like in a Mike Brown system? And I'm not talking about minutes, because I know Mitch is going to play. Right? I know Mitch is going to play. Miss Geraldine, how you doing? I know Mitchell Robinson is going to play, but how's he going to look in a Mike Brown system? Is he going to be big, strong guy that doesn't run the floor and move as much? Or is he going to be the opposite of that, move a lot? Miss Geraldine, how you bowling? How's the bowling been? How's the bowling? I see y'all. Stop being nosy, Uncle Frizzy. Talk about Mitch. Stop worrying about Miss Geraldine and talk about Mitchell Robinson, Uncle Frizzy. Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there, right? So I understand there's a lot of concern. Anytime there's a coaching change, there's a lot of concern, right? I remember having these same conversations when Tom Thibodeau took the job, like how there were every show, and every show basically sitting around what's Tom Thibodeau going to do with the roster? What's the roster going to look like? So in my mind, it's only natural for us to want to talk about Mike Brown in this type of way. My concern is Mitchell Robinson does have to prove that he can stay healthy, right? He does have to do that, right? My other concern is will Mitchell Robinson be able to show what he can do in a Mike Brown system? Like, will he be able to show that he can run the floor for 25 minutes? Asking a big to run the floor for 25 minutes is a lot. That's a lot. The son of the legend, Kerry Cox, is in the building. Salute. Okay. So y'all got a couple of y'all got a few weeknights in order to catch up. Y'all got a few weeknights in order to catch up. So I know y'all excited about that though. At least you get a chance to make a run. Rich boy is in the building. Salute. Bodega Wi-Fi says it's a contract. Yeah, for Mitch, he has to be hungry. Yeah, no doubt. I know Mitch is gonna play. I know what Mitchell Robinson can do. I'm a Mitchell Robinson fan, right? I'm not a fan of the Mitch Hive, right? I'm not a fan of the Mitch Hive, but I'm a fan of Mitchell Robinson. The Mitch Hive make you want to pull your eyeballs out with the stuff that they say sometimes. But in terms of me being a Mitch fan, yeah, I'm in. Right? I'm in. And I'm gonna ask y'all a question too. I wanted to ask y'all a question. I was gonna ask probably around September. I'm gonna ask now though. Should I join the cat hive? What do you call a cat hive? A litter? Should I join the cat litter? Is that a litter? Wait a minute. So what I envision is Brandon Williams in the building. Salute. So what I envision from this team is a lot of flashes early on. Like a lot of impressive flashes early on. I could see in Mike Brown's system, I could see a 50-point game somewhere. I can see 2 30-point nights against a contender. I can see an impressive blowout against someone. Right? I could see the positive things happening early on. Right? I can see those things. And will they have me excited? Yes, absolutely. They absolutely have me be excited, right? At the same time, how do we get there? During the season, we won't care how we get there. During the off season, though, we'll be like trying to figure out how we're going to get there. Right? So stock up, stock down on where you see certain players being in Mike Brown's offense and defense. Stock up and stock down. I'm doing some stuff on the computer, y'all. So the question to y'all is this. Question number one is this. Will Jalen Brunson's production be impacted by Mike Brown's offense and defense? What do y'all think Jalen Brunson is going to do? I see. Miguel P says the kitty litter. Okay, all right. Either way. Will Jalen Brunson's offensive output be impacted by Mike Brown's offense and defense? But here's the thing. If so, how? Bodega says, like you said, dog, it depends on if Brunson can stay in rhythm and play off ball. I think that is more of his natural skill set too, by the way. and I know at times when we start talking like hoops and get too basketball-y, it's like a boring conversation. But I gotta add the basketball aspect to it. Right? Dripmore is in the building. Salute. So the thing about Jalen Brunson is this, in my opinion, I think he plays better as the secondary attacker that can go off for large stretches of the game. So while I'm not saying Jalen Brunson is not as good as SGA, I'm not saying that. Trini, what's good? I'm not saying that Jalen Brunson is not as good as SGA, but when he gets to attack another team's defense like Jay will, man, this dude's a monster, bro. He a monster. Wiz, what's good, bro? And I think understanding that is going to make Jalen Brunson's numbers look different. I think Jalen Brunson can legitimately be 50, 40, 90 in Mike Brown's offense. Defensively, I don't think you'll see Jalen Brunson defending the box and the corner and taking charges like he used to. Hey, Rasul, what's good, man? E. Gibson in the building? This is what I think Mike Brown wants, right? This is what I think Mike Brown wants. E. Gibson hit it on the head. I got so much stuff up here on this desk, man. I think that's what Mike Brown wants. An offense that creates better spacing in transition and the half court, right? Less ISO, only in ISO minutes, right? And when I mean ISO minutes, I mean ISO moments. Only in ISO moments. You down by 13 seconds left in the game. You need a bucket. You're not going to run a set that's going to take 10 seconds. You're going to get it to your best player and let him go get that bucket. Right? And getting out and running, transition moments, right? And listen, transition can be done in a number of ways, right? Transition can be done in a number. So the easiest way to say transition is fast break, but that's not the only way you can transition, right? You don't have to fast break in order to, get in transition. Like you could push the ball up the floor after a made basket. After the other team makes a shot, you can get the ball out of the net and push the ball up the floor. Make the other team run. And E. Gibson is spot on once again. At times, players were standing around the offense. We need consistent ball. Right. I think this was by design, though. Like we did that by design. Alfonso Scott is in the building. Salute. I definitely think that was by design. Now, here's the thing. Coaches are going to have philosophies, right? Coaches are going to have philosophies, right? They're going to have their philosophies. And Tom Thibodeau's philosophy was don't turn the ball, value the basketball, don't turn it over, and play smothering defense. Yeah, you think so? Probably. Hey, Wiz, so I to make you laugh, this is just for Wiz, everybody. So yo, I'm gonna just tell y'all, mind y'all business. I'm only talking to Wiz, right? Stop eavesdropping, everybody. I'm just only talking to Wiz. Wiz, man, I started this thing. You ever heard of the carnivore diet? I'm on day 1 of the carnivore diet, bro. I'm on day 1 of the carnivore diet. I'm trying to get down a few pounds before the holidays get here. So to make you, I'm trying to get down to about 280-ish. And so I can so I could be at Mike Brown training camp next summer. Yeah, definitely. And Kerry Cox says Huck Porty will be vital this summer or this year. Cox. Y'all got to explain it to me. Y'all got to explain it to me. Explain this one to me, y'all. Y'all know I like Huck. I like Huck Porty, right? I like Huck Porty a lot. I like Huck Porty. But explain to me how a team that's going to run is going to have a rotation of 4 big men. Mike is in the building. Salute. Bro, I ain't seen your ass in a year. Mike Austin in the building. I ain't seen Mike Austin since. What's going on in the world, man? Mike Austin is in the building, and Big Bird got fired. What's going on out here, man? Mike Austin in the building and Big Bird got fired. What's going on out here? Salute to my guy, Mike Austin. Hey, Mike, man, salute, bro. Nothing but love, bro. It's all love, bro. Man, yeah, salute, Mike. Yeah, man. Big Bird got fired, bro. Big Bird last day is September 30th. Big Bird last day is September 30th, bro. Yeah, man. The thing is I want to believe that Huck Porty. I want to believe that Huck Porty can make a difference. I think he's a difference maker. I think he's a difference maker, man. But I think Huck Porty is a difference maker. But when you play 4 bigs, right? Think about what I'm gonna say, everybody. So you play 4 bigs, you play 3 guards, right? That means with seven spots already taken, right? That means you only play 3 wing players. That means because if you play Cat, Mitch, Yabusele, and Huck Porty, that's 4 bigs, right? And your 3 guards are going to be Deuce, Clarkson, and Brunson. That means you're only playing 3 wing players, right? That's Josh, OG, and Bridges. So that puts us in that puts us in a weird spot, man. Like, and I want what you're saying to be true, but I also want to be realistic about it. Like, and my belief is full throttle. My belief is, and this is my belief, full throttle. Right? Full throttle. This is my belief. My belief is that full throttle, Huck Porty can average 10 and 4 in the NBA in about 15 minutes. In Mike Brown's system now. This is not Tibbs' system. If it was Tibbs' system, I would say 6 and 4. Nick Yak is in the building. Nick Yak says Huck Porty is back up to Mitch. Yabusele back up to Cat. What's wrong? We couldn't rebound last year. Yeah, the thing is and so Nick Yak, the thing about it is, honestly, I can't bring myself to compare how Tom Thibodeau managed the roster versus how Mike Brown manages the roster. They're so far away from each other in terms of what they're looking to do. Like Mike Brown at times can lose the steering wheel because he wants to put his foot all the way on your throat. And sometimes when you do that, you'll lose control of the game. Like, you'll want to go on a run so bad and put a team away that you leave that window for that other team to, come back. Ed Walker in the building, salute. So to this, I understand where Nick Yak is going with it. I just can't bring myself to compare how Tom Thibodeau manages a roster versus how Mike Brown will manage the roster. Right? It's one of those things. And listen, I think I understand the point. I just don't know. Man, and then up and down. The thing I'm considering is having 4 NBA players at 250 pounds or more run the floor and transition all game long. It's something to consider. It's something to consider. Now, if there was a thing we're saying, you know what, at times, if we're in a mindset that we're going to limit Cat to 70 games and limit Mitch to 70 games, and have the other guys step in and backfill. But the intent is to limit them to 70 games. Not saying that you want them to, not that they're not great players, because they're fantastic players. You already know how I feel about Mitch. I feel like we have traders in the Mitch hive right now, right? I feel like there are traders in the Mitch hive at the moment. Maybe just because it's summer. Maybe because it's summertime, right? But when you have 4 250-pound individuals looking to run the floor in Mike Brown's system, I just don't know if that's going to be the plan. Maybe it will be. Right? Maybe that they know something I don't know. Like maybe they're shedding weight right now, right? Maybe Mitch will be in his 250s, maybe Cat will be in his 240s, maybe Huck Porty is going to be in his 240s, and they'll do something that we can't anticipate at the moment. Though, at the moment when you're asking 7-footers, and I know Yabusele is not 7 foot, but he's a big. When you're asking your bigs to run rim to rim, grab a rebound, like grab a contested rebound, outlet pass, sprint the length of the floor, maybe shoot a 3, they get the rebound, sprint back the other way, right? On defense, get back on defense, right? We get the steal, go back the other way, come down, attack the rim, free throws, and now your big is gassed. And so it's not that I don't have faith in the players. It's just you just hadn't seen anything in the NBA like that before. If you have, because think about it, if you have 4 big men in your rotation, that means you have to have 6 big men on your roster. You have to have, because these guys are an injury waiting to happen, basically. Their injuries waiting. They jump, they leap in traffic, they battle down low. They do a lot of the physical, dirty work. They're caught up in the wash all the time. It's the reason why these guys always have nagging injuries. And then on top of that, to get them to run up and down the floor in that pace and space element. If they can listen, if they can do it, then by all means. I don't know if you can sustain it through a playoff run, though. Like, I don't know if you can start that in October and still be doing it at the end of February, early March, through March, early April, late April. Yeah. And again, I feel you, but he's 270, bro. He's a big. He's 270. He's a big, bro. You know? Oh, we starting this already? Y'all starting this already? There it is. All right, there it is. I was wondering what was going on. System glitchy. Yeah. LI1's in the building. Salute. They did for a minute, man. I fought them off, though, man. They did for a minute. I kept these elbows tucked, though. I kept the elbows tucked, and I rolled with the punches, man. Keep your head moving, man. Keep your knees flexible, man. Stay on them ankles. Keep rolling those ankles, man. You know me. The Deuce McBride thing is a real concern for y'all, right? Hey, somebody explain to me what the real concern is about Deuce McBride. I want to do the stock watch thing, but I'm really concerned about the Deuce McBride thing. Like, what's the major concern with Deuce? What is it with Deuce McBride that concerns y'all? Danny Landis is in the building. Salute. Nah, hey Danny, there are no I don't have sources, but I did ask around, and the Giannis thing was never a thing, bro. It's always Knicks summertime clickbait. Every summer, the media create clickbaity narratives, right? Like, y'all remember the summer we sat here and talked about Bradley Beal to the Knicks all summer? Remember that? Remember when Tibbs got hired? We talked about Chris Paul to the Knicks all summer during the pandemic. Anybody remember that? We're like, but Leon Rose was his agent. Leon Rose was his agent. Of course he's coming to the Knicks. Yeah, anybody remember 2010, LeBron to the Knicks? Man, if we get LeBron, man, we might be able to get such and such and such. Yeah. Hey, Miguel P. Nah. I promise you, bro. I promise you. Giannis is not, no. And I'm not trying to be a wet blanket. I'm not trying to be a wet blanket, man. Giannis is a all-time great. Giannis is an all-time great. He's still great right now. But in order for small media markets to stay relevant during the summer, they include the Knicks in their conversations. Anybody remember the Donovan Mitchell summer? Anybody remember that? Spider to the Knicks. Gotham needs a spider. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember me trying to get the Utah Jazz content creator to come on the show, but he wanted me to come on there first? Anybody remember that? Like, man, come on over, man, and talk about how desperate the Knicks are to get Donovan Mitchell, and then we'll come over. No. Knicks ain't desperate to get Donovan Mitchell. You crazy. Cash rules. What's good, Cash? And from a personal perspective, the Knicks have a great team, man. The Knicks should have been in the NBA Finals. I think the Knicks would have beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think this Knicks team would have defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals. There's my thought. Now, there's my feeling. I just shared how I feel with y'all. Paris Douglas in the building. Salute. So the thing about before we drifted a little bit and started talking about Giannis and got away from player stock watch, I want to ask y'all how y'all feel about the Deuce thing. I think we're quickly becoming divided on Deuce McBride, and I don't know what side you are on in terms of Deuce McBride. I'm on team Deuce, but I'm very much team Knicks. Right? Y'all know I love Deuce, but if it's not contributing to a championship, what are we doing? So hey, well, let me ask this. What does Deuce McBride do that makes him expendable or non-expendable as a Knick? What does Deuce McBride do that makes him non-tradable? I'll go first. I'll go first. I think Deuce McBride, I think his impact on the culture is something that you can't take lightly. Right? I think what he provides for the culture, for Knicks basketball in general, not always on the court stuff, but I'm talking about I'm just talking about his presence, him being here. I think that's invaluable. I think you need character guys like Deuce McBride in your organization. You got to have guys that know what to do, know what to say, do the right thing, be in the right place. All these set an example, veteran leadership. I think you need guys like Deuce in your organization in order to have a healthy organization. That's what I think Deuce brings to the table. One of the things that he doesn't do, and it frustrates me, is he's not a scorer. And 37% three-point shooting for a spot-up shooter, 37% for a spot-up backcourt guard is bad. That's bad. Right? And it's no knock on Deuce, by the way. I'm not saying that I don't want anything bad. I don't want Deuce traded to Las Vegas or the Clippers or whatever. Right? But every summer, the Knicks have to bring in a guy that does the things that Deuce can't provide you with. Every season, every summer, you see a Dante DiVincenzo, Cameron Payne, DeLon Wright, Jordan Clarkson, Emmanuel Quickly type guy in front of Deuce or with Deuce to pick up for the things that he can't do or hadn't learned to do. Is this a fair narrative to Deuce? I think it is fair to talk about. I don't think it's fair if we add malice to it. And so we don't want to, I'm not adding malice to it or venom to it. Right? I just want to talk about the facts. Even right now, in this moment, a lot of you guys in the chat feel like we need another ball handler on the roster. And if Deuce McBride was that guy, you probably wouldn't be talking about that. Yeah, Nick, yeah, I agree. I saw that. And everybody I talked to, now mind you, I don't have any sources. I'm not connected, right? I legitimately do the opposite because I like being neutral, right? I like being a fan. I don't want to be obligated to, play nice, basically. Right? So I don't have connections just for that reason specifically, right? But if every summer, even right now, for people that's defending Deuce, like myself, for the people that are defending Deuce McBride, we all feel like we need a player to fill in Deuce's role so Deuce can have less responsibility. Tori B in the building. Salute. I wish this wasn't so. At the same time, it is so. The thing about Deuce is he's not going to grow. That's unreasonable. Right? That's unreasonable. That's an unreasonable ask. Right? Now, can he become Avery Bradley? Can he become Avery Bradley? At this point, I don't think so. Now, can he prove me wrong? Absolutely. I've been wrong before. You've been wrong before. And we may be wrong again at some point. I think our thing with Deuce is I think he's one of the last guys of that group, that young core that we loved. And so we're holding on to a thought that we can draft a guy, and we can develop a guy. So Cherie says we need athleticism and a knockdown shooter on this. I absolutely agree. Here's the thing, Cherise. I think we already have those guys on the roster. The athleticism, the guys that can shoot. We just got to get them some playing time. And y'all pardon me for picking up the mic. I know that was obnoxious. Like, who does dude think he is? He's just going to talk to him. Real King is in the building. I think Deuce would probably be ideal if he was our point of attack defender and shot 43% from three on high volume. Right? If Deuce McBride shot 43% from three, mostly on spot ups, kickouts, relocation threes, right? And guarded the point of attack, that would free up Mikal Bridges to be a wing defender. Wait a minute, Mikal Bridges be a wing defender? No. What is that? I've never seen that before. What if Deuce could do those things and that freed up Mikal Bridges to be a wing? What? That's me being goofy, y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's me being goofy, right? Indeed, I would say that Deuce has the potential to turn it on and be that. The thing is how long are you going to wait? How long are you going to wait? And so I had a secret question I was going to save until Wednesday or Thursday night, right? But since we're here, I'll ask that question to you guys right now. Would you guys be open to a Quentin Grimes reunion? Would you guys be open to a Quentin Grimes sign and trade type scenario? Hey, L1, I see you. L1, I see you. I see you. Hey man, it's New York, bro. It's New York. It's people people are fickle, you know what I'm saying? It's New York, bro. You ever walk the street? It's New York, bro. So Brandon Williams says Grimes wants a big contract. Me too. I want a big contract also. They just not out there like that. Cherie says yes. Bodega says yes. Miguel P says we have 10 vets and 2 young boys. I should have 11 vets and 3 young boys. Yeah. Ooh, I can't help but feel like that's a shot at Deuce. Dribble, drive, pass, and shoot well is what Deuce has. Right. Yep. The key word is perfected because we've seen flashes of it maybe once or twice per game. But that Portland game, when was Deuce there for the game Scoot Henderson went crazy on us? For some reason, I have a sense that Deuce shrunk in that moment. I'm going to go back to I'm gonna go back to the schedule just to see. Because for some reason, I think Deuce McBride shrunk in that game. It was a game where Jalen Brunson was out. That was the game where Mikal Bridges hit the game winner, I think. I think Mikal Bridges hit a game winner in that game. I think, if my memory served me right. Let me see. I'm gonna look at that's if my memory serves me right. I had a sense that Deuce shrank in that game, and he may not have. It's just, no, he didn't. Deuce was 4 of 12. Deuce knocked down 3 threes. He was 3 of 7. He had 1 rebound, 5 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. Deuce ate that game. Why do I have the sense that he shrunk in that game? He was the only starter with a negative plus minus. And y'all know y'all know I don't care nothing about no plus minus. I don't care nothing about no plus minus, man. Deuce had 11 points on 12 shots. He played 38 minutes. And he had 5 assists, 2 blocks, 4 steals. His defense was, man, why do I have the sense of that? I don't know. Somebody tell me. I'm not hating on Deuce. I'm asking. I was like, I take grabs. Ah. All right, Leon, get it done. Trade for Grimes. All right, Miss Geraldine. Yeah, I got to be on these phones at like 7:30. Man, it's crazy. It's that time of year, man. It's that time of year, so. Stop hating, bro. That man had 4 steals in the game. Now, he had 11 points on 12 shots. You're not going to be knocking down every shot every night. Right? You're not going to knock down every shot every night, right? Some nights you're just going to have your 4 for 12. It's what it is. That's why we go by the numbers at the end of the year. Y'all are wildin', bro. Y'all are wildin'. Yeah, y'all are wildin'. So I guess what I'll say to it is this. I've been telling people behind the scenes this, and I don't know if it's appropriate or not. And I've been waiting for the time to say it to everyone, but the show's go in so many different directions that I just wanted to say it. When I say it, I wanted to get his just desserts. I personally feel as if the Knicks right now should be the 3-time NBA champs. I feel like the loss in Miami in Game 6 was maybe the worst playoff loss that I've seen. And we can't use injury as an excuse because Miami had more injuries than we had. The Miami Heat team that we lost to, that had a bunch of dudes that we never heard of in the lineup. Tyler Hero was on the sideline with a cast on. Jimmy Butler had the same similar sprained ankle to Julius Randle. Right? And it was Jalen Brunson versus Bam Adebayo, basically. And we just didn't And then the next year that we lost to Indiana, when we were up 2-0 with a big lead in game 3, and we went offense instead of defense, and Indiana came storming back, and we wound up losing the series. Right? And in the series we lost to Indiana this year, I feel like if we win game 1, we're in the NBA Finals. And y'all know how game 1 ended. Tyrese Halliburton hit a prayer over Mitchell Robinson, right? The ball hit back rim, bounced a mile in the sky, and somehow found the rim and went in, and he acted like he switched it. And so I feel like the roster for the last 3 years has been very close to being NBA championship ready. It's just how we manage game situations, right? Like, I don't have a problem with any of the players. I felt like the situational awareness hurt us a lot of times. Now, the shot that Tyrese Halliburton hit over Mitchell Robinson, no other center is even going to be in the picture with Tyrese Halliburton, right? And on that play, I think he double dribbled twice. Anybody remember that? Remember he was trying to go by Mitch, and he bobbles the ball, picks it up, and then put the ball back down and back up, so he can get the shot off on Mitch. That's fortune, right? That's fortune. They were fortunate. If that shot misses, the Knicks are up 1-0. And the whole vibe of the series is different. Instead, they hit that shot and they give the choke sign to the national media, the classic Indiana Pacers. Every time the Indiana Pacers beat the Knicks, they want to pull out the choke sign. Yep, Nick, yep. Because he couldn't go by him. The thing is, Halliburton couldn't go by Mitch. That's the thing. He couldn't get by Mitch. He couldn't get his shot off, and he couldn't go by him. No other NBA center is even guarding Halliburton like that. And y'all know how Halliburton is. When things are going bad, he quiet. When things are going good, he the loudest dude in the NBA. Right? Y'all know how it is. Y'all know Halliburton, and I'm not trying to knock Halliburton as a person, but y'all know what type person he is. He's that person in front of y'all. When things are going bad, he's quiet. When things are going great, you can't shut him up. Meanwhile, we have guys that are just naturally Mikal Bridges. You never see Mikal Bridges jumping in people's face and all that. You never see OG Anunoby jumping in people's face and all this stuff unless they do something to them. You never see Mitchell Robinson jumping in people's face talking about how great he is. You never see Jalen Brunson jumping in people's face talking about how great he is. These dudes are even killed. These dudes are basically what you want out of an NBA player. You never see Deuce McBride hit a 3 and do a 3-point sign or something. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever see that from them dudes. And for that reason, Nick Yak says Mitch Foster a bad last shot. Anyone blaming Mitch is just a hater. Anybody? Yep. Basically. But I don't think that's what we're doing here. We're not blaming Mitch on any of that. Mitch did what he was supposed to do. This guy got lucky. Right? The guy it shot a missile, well, not a missile, but a rainbow at the rim over Mitchell Robinson. It hits back iron, bounces a mile in the air, and then finds the net. And for that reason, everybody, I'm not saying that I'm a dreamer. What I'm saying is when you look back at the playoff losses the last 3 years, the heartbreaking losses, we were right there. We could be NBA champs, 2-time NBA champs, or dare I say, 3-time NBA champs. Right. And I know the Indiana series that we lost, they went on to play Boston. Right. They went on to play Boston and got steamrolled. I felt like we were ready to beat Boston that year. Right. I felt like we were ready to beat Boston that year. Right. I felt like we were ready to beat Boston. This year beating Boston felt like we should have been. It just took. Chat. I've been saying this since Adam and Dre was like jumping on at night, right? Ever since Adam and Dre and others, I was saying, man, the Knicks in the playoff series against Boston, bro, we gonna beat them. We just never faced them, and when we did face them, we embarrassed them. I was telling teams for years that I wasn't scared of Milwaukee and I wasn't afraid of Boston. The team that I feared over those years was the Miami Heat, because for some reason they just tend to have our number in big moments. Will Mike Brown find a way to turn that around? I think so. And I don't think it's going to be all Mike Brown. I think it's just nah, I'm just trying to express myself. The conspiracy part, we can talk about that, man. I'm just telling you how I felt the last 3 years. I feel like the last 3 years, we should have at a minimum been in the NBA Finals, at a minimum. And that's partially, and it's part, and I know I need to grow up and be an adult. But that's partially why I keep the Deuce McBride door open. Because in that Miami series, that was the series where Deuce McBride has to step up. With Quickly out with a sprained ankle, right? Josh Hart with a sprained ankle. Jalen Brunson with a sprained. Y'all remember when Jalen Brunson used to wear the thing on his hand? Remember that? The sprained wrist thing? Y'all remember that? Jalen Brunson with the sprained wrist. Randall with the bruised tailbone, black eye, and two sprains on the same leg. The two healthy players were Obi Toppin and Deuce McBride, and all we needed them to do was just hold it down. Don't let the ship get away. Now, what happens is, y'all know the story. The rope did get away. We wound up losing. Do I blame Deuce or Obi? No. Because they were young. I think they were like second or third year players when it happened. Second or third year, something like that. Right? Second or third year, something like that. Right? Do I blame them? No. But can we say that they never got the opportunity to become stars? They absolutely had the opportunity to become stars, and they didn't take advantage of those opportunities. And maybe we're asking them to be something greater than what their potential is allowing them to be. David Smith is in the building. Says, give Ewan a shout out. It's his birthday. Today ain't Pat Ewan birthday, man. Stop playing. David Smith, you better stop playing with me. You know Pat is the greatest center to ever play. I'm going to check. Yeah, today Pat birthday. It's after midnight. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's after midnight. Yeah, happy birthday, Pat. Happy birthday, Pat. Yeah. Pat is my guy. Y'all know, I think, and I know y'all going to call me a homer. I mean, I don't care. But I think Patrick Ewing is the greatest center to ever play NBA basketball. Happy birthday, Mom Dukes. Mom Dukes be coming over to get some birthday cake later. I know y'all going to party. It's the Bronx. I already know y'all going to party. I already know y'all going to do something. Wow. Salute to Starks. Starks is my guy. Y'all know I love Starks. Starks is a top 5 Knicks player to me. And on my list. Right. So in the stock up, stock down thing, y'all, I'm not gonna front the stock up, stock down thing. I'm gonna say it like this. I think there are gonna be certain players that what you expect them to be is not going to be what you see under Mike Brown. And then there are going to be certain players that are going to come off the radar and be more dynamic than what you thought. Do I wish that player would be Ariel Hukporti? Absolutely. Do I want that player to be Ariel Hukporti? Yes. Do I want that player to be Pacom Dadier? Yes. Do I want that player to be Kev McCullough, Tyler Kolek, Mo Diawara? Yes. Do I want it to be James Najee? Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Am I rooting for that to happen? Yes, because it means that the capital you use in the draft and signing players is being realized. Do I want it to come at the expense of a veteran? That depends on how that veteran loses that job. If that veteran loses that job due to injury, and a guy has to fill in and show his worth, then yeah, that'll be ideal. Now, if that veteran plays bad, I think you got to give that veteran time to self-correct. I think the player that I think is going to have the bounce back that I anticipate is Bridges. Someone mentioned to me that the ideal situation for Bridges and the Knicks is for Deuce McBride to start and be the point of attack defender and create catch and shoot looks for Jalen Brunson, and they play in tandem where Deuce will get you 10 points, 4 or 5 assists, and good point of attack defense. And then Jordan Clarkson can sub in for Deuce and play with Brunson in the backcourt. And then now you go from wham bam, wham bam. I think the obvious starter is Mitchell Robinson. I think you got to start him. right now it appears like the starter. I don't think Yabusele or Jordan Clarkson can even be in consideration, especially for the money you're paying them. You're not expecting them to come in and be better or more impactful than Josh Hart. I think Josh to the bench is expected. I think Josh to the bench is expected, right? Mitch starting, to me, provides us the switchable dynamic that you're looking for. My only thing, though, is we got to keep the big dog healthy, right? We got to keep the big dog healthy, right? Not playing Mitch 30 minutes, man. You got to keep Mitch at about 25, 27 minutes. Just makes sense. On that, I'm going to get out of here, y'all. Thank you, everybody, for coming through and rocking with us. So I plan on probably doing these every night. Mostly listening to what you guys have to say. I don't have a grand design on what the summer is going to be like because we don't have much news. But I plan on just coming in, listening to what you have to say, just chopping it up. This will be like our hangout or whatever, man. And y'all put how y'all feel in the chat, and we'll just chop it up. So I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Peace, everybody.